What up? It's your boy Big Burn coming to you live from the App Stupid Studio podcast. Act like you got some sense. Smash the like and subscribe button. We like it when you do that here. Also, you see the socials at the bottom. Follow us on those platforms. And if you want to fund the madness directly, you can go ahead and hit us up at Cash App, $Vern Dollars, DOLLAZ. Got a couple of stories for you today. Going to talk about the Tennessee Titans. Talking about Ron Carthon and how he was given a green light from Amy Adams Strunk, and she is the controlling owner of the Tennessee Titans. Talking about the good, the bad, the ugly. Also, they've got a new coach in Mr. Brian Callahan. Going to go ahead and talk about Raheem Morris out of Atlanta. He's the face of Atlanta football. What does this mean? And also, why was everybody interested in this job? Because Jim Harbaugh had interviewed twice for the job. And also, Bill Belichick, and like I said, he was there as well with 2 interviews, and they came away with Raheem Morris. So we want to talk about that. And finally, we want to talk about the legacy of Jim Harbaugh in Ann Arbor. How will he be remembered? And I think when people look back at it, outside of Michigan's fan base, there's a lot. Like I said, there's a lot to be desired. So we will come right back at the top of the segment with the Tennessee Titans and Mr. Ron Carthon after he hired Brian Callahan, and we'll get into why that situation may be a recipe for disaster. We're going to take a quick break from an unofficial sponsor of the show. We'll see you in 20. This is Vern on the App Stupid Podcast. Taco Bell Live Mas. Yes, Taco Bell Live Mas. Try the $5 cravings box, cheesy burritos, gorditas. You visit the good people at your local Taco Bell. Download the app or order online. Taco Bell Live Mas. So we'll start in the NFL. We'll start in the AFC South, talking about the Tennessee Titans. Now, Amy Adams Strunk, she is the controlling owner of the Tennessee Titans, and she made it very clear about the team structure moving forward, making it clear that Ron Carthon he's the primary decision maker. And he's been promoted to executive vice president, general manager. And he's number 2 in personnel. Now, Chad Brinker, he was promoted to president of football operations. So this guy, he's proven his mettle, but looking at Tennessee's record, I think they just left a lot to be desired. But like I said, it's just a good or a bad thing. I don't know. When you have too many, like they say, too many cooks in the kitchen kills the stew. Could this be one of those things? A year ago, when Strunk hired Carthon to replace fired GM John Robinson, the Titans talked collaboration between Carthon and then coach Mike Vrabel, refusing to clarify on who had final say on personnel matters. Strunk said on a team-released video after firing Vrabel, she would clarify after hiring his replacement, and she has. Carthon has final say, not only on personnel, but oversight on the coaching staff. That's a problem. That's a problem right there when football guys can't make football decisions and he has to run everything by the front office before he gets a decision. That's a definite problem. And when you look at all of the situations that Mike Vrabel was dealing with, I mean, a power struggle because there's no clear identified chain of command. Got to have a chain of command, but also if I'm a football guy, you've hired me to be a football dude, you got to let me go ahead and run my show. You can't stand over the top of me and then second guess my decisions. That's not going to work. Over the past year, Rand has impressed me, and this is all Amy Adams talking at this point. He has impressed me and our staff with his innovative approach to roster building. What? What? They didn't win the NFC. They didn't win the AFC South. They didn't win the AFC South at all. They look bad. Rand's exceptional reputation around the league as a talent evaluator and culture builder was a clear competitive advantage during last year's free agency and draft process, as well as our recent research for a head coach. What? I mean, I'm just in disbelief. Like, what? Culture building? I don't see the Tennessee Titans as this ridiculously volatile front office. It just didn't come across that way, not at least for me. Simply put, Rand makes the Tennessee Titans a destination for the league's top talent. No, he doesn't. By expanding his role to include the full roster control and oversight of the coaching staff, our organization will now benefit more completely from Rand's unique ability to build and lead a championship caliber football team. She's on drugs. At this point, she's on drugs. Because Derrick Henry is a free agent, and I don't think that he's re-signed, at least not from all of the reports I've seen. He's set to hit the market, so you need a new running back. Will Levis is not enough at quarterback. Ryan Tannehill wasn't enough at quarterback. What is she talking about? My goodness. Impressed? Seriously? They finished 6-11 on a season, and you're impressed. 6-11. Oh my goodness. Now, impressive. They do have $73 million in cap space, and they're ranked number 2 in the league in 2024. So they got cash to go out and spend. And how they will adjust and spend that, who knows? They also have 7 draft picks coming this year as well. So those are some big positives you can look forward to. And if you're impressed about that, his ability to go ahead and game the market and corner not only draft picks, but also hoard cash so you can go after people in free agency and make it a competitive football team next year. Yeah, be impressed with that. But you can't say overall he impressed us and we're 6-11. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense, Miss Amy. You got to make it make sense, Miss Amy. And we'll get into more of Amy's decisions, Rand's authority, and Brian Callahan and what this could mean for him. We'll be back in 20 after an unofficial sponsor break. This is Big Vern. Planet Fitness, get your big fitness energy. Planet Fitness, big fitness energy. It's a judgment-free zone. Download the app or visit your good folks down at the local Planet Fitness. New year, new you. Planet Fitness. Okay, so going back to the bottom of this segment, talking about Amy Adams Strunk, talking about Mr. Ron Carthon, and also Mr. Brian Callahan. Now, a couple of missteps for Mr. Carthon. It was about him trying to do this underwhelming haul of the roster, and he made a key mistake giving a 3-year, $29 million deal to Philadelphia Eagles backup tackle and former first-round Andre Dillard. Yeah, that was a big what. and also disastrous and untimely, trying to put this dude in the lineup for former San Francisco 49ers backup Alziz Shahir and Daniel Brunskill. They were fine additions, but again, it wasn't enough to move the needle. Arden Key and Sean Murphy-Burnt had moments. At wide receiver, DeAndre Hopkins was a critical late addition, but Hopkins' relationship with Vrabel was stated, it was really fractured. Along with the fact that Tennessee gave him the best offer. So the moves that he made were marginal. It didn't move the needle. The whole DeAndre Hopkins thing, yeah, that's cool, but I don't know what it is about DeAndre Hopkins and these coaches, because when him and Bill O'Brien, and trust me, I'm no Bill O'Brien. I think the Patriots and that Patriot scam that they've been running on the NFL for far too long is ridiculous. So I'm not going to sit up here and pretend like Bill O'Brien was some sort of he was this innocent figure, and him and DeAndre Hopkins got in. No, he traded him away because DeAndre Hopkins had the locker room and he didn't. And then that just tore into the destruction of the Houston Texans. Well, then he goes to Arizona, and at that time, you had Cliff Kingsbury in this air raid offense, and how him and Kyler Murray were going to be this new duo. That never materialized. And then he goes to Tennessee, and then you give him Ryan Tannehill and Will Levis. And no. So I can see that these moves were small, to say the least. Now, Carthon's draft class has promise, and it will ultimately be judged on the career of Will Levis. Number one, if you are in the Kentucky area and the Indiana area market, Southern Indiana, you got Kentucky football games. People in Kentucky and in Southern Indiana, we've seen enough of Will Levis to know you don't want to put your career in that dude's hands. No way. Carthon still has much to prove. He also has a clean slate of sorts in the terms of trying to make things work in the strange marriage with Vrabel. Again, it's ridiculous. It's cartoonish to think that these people are going to change their spots, who they are, what they do. It's one of those things where, you look at the guys and then you start asking questions, and the questions that you come up with, owner Amy Adams gave Ron Carthon complete control of football operations, and this is like, complete control of football decisions. Is this a mistake? I don't really know. I don't know. I know this, that if you put your career in the hands of Will Levis, you got to be psycho. You got to be psycho. And people will say, oh, well, Will proved his mettle and he won a couple of games. You're supposed to do that. You're a pro. This ain't Little League. This isn't Pop Warner. You're supposed to do. This isn't church league football. You're supposed to win games. That's why they pay you the money that they pay you. That's enough of that. Gonna come back with the second story about Raheem Morris and the Atlanta Falcons. The man, the mystery, the myth. We'll be back. This is Big Vern. As always, share, like, and subscribe and get these videos. I'm out.